Hello and welcome to your Newsmax Daily for the final day of April, Wednesday the 30th, 2025. Did I miss anything? Oh, wow. I always used to say, miss a minute of the Newsmax Daily and you miss a lot. Miss a day of the Trump administration and you miss a lot. Contrary to popular belief, unfortunately, I was not in Rome. And thank you to the wonderful Kay Hill Smythe for filling in. I do love when Kay says, hello, Newsmax Daily podcast family. If you are new to the family, thank you for the download. Yeah, not a good impersonation. She's Welsh, right? Hard accent to do. April 30th is Denim Day. Not what you may think. It is a day to show support for victims and survivors of sexual assault. The movement actually grew out of a rape case in Italy back in the 90s when a court wrongly determined the sex had to be consensual because the woman's jeans were so tight the rapist would not have been able to remove them. A fascinating case. It's sort of Italy's version of if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit, but in reverse, right? It's also National Golf Day in the USA. While some people may have taken today off to celebrate by playing golf, President Trump, who loves golf as much as he loves being president, will not be celebrating his first 100 days by playing golf today. But he did have a celebration of sorts in Michigan yesterday.
After years of leaders who sent your money to defend the borders of distant foreign nations, that's what we did. We'd fight for other nations, but not for ourselves. You finally have a president who is defending our borders and our nation. After decades of politicians who destroyed Detroit to build up Beijing, you finally have a champion for workers in the White House, and instead of putting China first, I'm putting Michigan first, and I'm putting America first. After a lifetime of unelected bureaucrats stealing your paychecks, attacking your values, and trampling your freedoms, we are stopping their gravy train, ending their power trip, and telling thousands of corrupt, incompetent, and unnecessary deep state bureaucrats, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. You're fired. Get out of here. In 100 days, we have delivered the most profound change in Washington in nearly 100 years. I read an editorial today that this is the most consequential presidency in history. How about that? And it wasn't even by a group that would normally be supporting us. It was a group of people that I think they tend to be on the liberal side, but they said it's the most important election, the November 5th, that changed it all. You have to see, well, you hear some of these numbers, but that is the most consequential election that we've ever had in our country. And what a nice thing. I'm going to start again subscribing to that particular paper. Even if I don't read it much, I'm going to subscribe. But it was a very nice compliment, especially from them. They know who I'm talking about. We're ushering out the long reign of special interests and the radical left lunatics, and we're ushering in the golden age of America. That's what we have. Right? Front row Joe. Look at you, front row Joes. I miss you guys. I miss the campaign. You haven't changed. You've lost a couple of pounds. Oh, he's probably getting one of those jabbers. You've lost a couple of pounds. You look good. And I have Mr. Wall here. This guy. How many rallies have you gone to? Like hundreds, and we love him here. The Wall. One day I'm going to get that suit and I'm going to wear it on stage. We appreciate it, fellas. Great. Thank you. You know, we have a group of ladies, I don't know if they're here, but we have a group of women from North Carolina, a large group, like 50 of the most beautiful women, and they've been to 129 rallies. They're happily married, I think, too. They just keep going to rallies all the time. But they're great. North Carolina, where we won by big numbers. Nowhere has this transformation been more dramatic than our southern border. You have seen a change on your southern border that Sleepy Joe said couldn't happen. Sleepy Joe, the worst president in history, said it couldn't happen. The last administration engineered a massive border invasion, allowing gangs, cartels, and terrorists to infiltrate our communities and rape and murder our citizens, and that is being nice about it. That's actually being nice about it. They are the worst. But standing before you today, I can proudly report that this heinous betrayal is over and that we have achieved the most secure border in American history by far.
In his nearly 90-minute speech, 90 minutes on and off the prompter, highlighting the accomplishments at the border and immigration, hammering Sleepy Joe and crooked Joe Biden and the Biden administration at every opportunity, while touching on almost every other executive order that he has signed in the past 100 days, more than any other president ever.
In 100 days, I've taken more than 1,000 executive actions, and I could recite our accomplishments all night long. And by the way, did you just see what I did? Straws. I wiped out the paper straw. Little thing. These are the little things.
The president also thanked many members of his administration for their help in the success of the administration. Some of them were there in Michigan with him and spoke as well.
I love this guy. I love this guy. There is nobody smarter or tougher than Stephen Miller. Stephen, say it.
Who's enjoying 100 golden days of America? President Trump has achieved the most secure border in American history. He's fighting violent crime. He's fighting the drug cartels. He's cutting your taxes. He's cutting wasteful spending. He's draining the swamp. He's standing up to the radical left. He's standing up to the communists, and he's making America stronger than it's ever been. President Trump will never stop fighting for you, your children, and your family, and President Trump will make sure that in this country, not illegal aliens, not criminals, not gangbangers, but American citizens come first, last, and always. Thank you. And thank you, President Trump, for being the greatest president in American history.
He's great. This guy, he is something special. And he's been with us right from day one. Right from day one, Stephen's been there, right?
Newsmax White House correspondent Mike Carter was also there and spoke with the people.
There's a lot of energy here in Macomb County, Michigan. We're here in Warren, Michigan. How are we feeling, everybody? 100 days in office for President Trump, and he's celebrating here at Macomb County Community College tonight. Of course, 100 days of Trump means 100 days of getting stuff done. Jared, why don't you stand up here with me here? Jared, you work in a local school district near here. Out of all the things that President Trump has done over his first 100 days, what's your most important issue?
I think there's two, actually. What we're doing on immigration is important to us because, look, if you come here illegally, you're not supposed to be here. We need to get rid of you. And number two, I think he's reshaping education for the future of America. And I have a lot of bureaucrats who spend a lot of time telling us who we should hire based on what they look or who they worship, and then allowing men to play in women's sports. We need to stop that. We need to get rid of it, and the president's done that. And he's going to start doing things that help us return tutors to schools, get us more teachers, and make sure local controls in our districts.
Jared, thank you so much. We're here in Warren, the president arriving here in Macomb County. Guys, later this afternoon, he'll be meeting with Governor Whitmer, who will be meeting him at an Air National Guard base just north of here, about 10 miles north of where we are at Macomb County Community College. 100 days of Trump.
Yeah.
What are you so excited about when you see the president today?
The chance that I'm going to have some of my Social Security when I'm there. When I finally get to the end of my line, the last of it, the Social Security is going to be there because we're $40 trillion in debt. That is crazy. And I know what happened to Argentina, and I'm not going there.
No taxes on tips, no taxes on Social Security. The president promising to take care of working men and women here in Michigan. And Tammy, if I could get you to stand up real quick, you're a retiree. What has the president done in his first 100 days that has satisfied you? You had to go back to work not too long ago.
Yeah, I had to go back to work because Social Security gets taxed and then you have to pay for your own Medicare.
You went back to work during the Biden administration?
I had to because it was not a Build Back Better for me and my husband. He's a truck driver. He makes about $1,000 less a paycheck now because of Build Back Better. You know, he hauls steel.
How honored are you that President Trump is here in your hometown giving his 100th-day speech tonight?
I love it. I love it. I was here for his rally in September. It was huge. I love the guy. He says what I say across the kitchen table. You know, sometimes he is a little funny about people, you know, describing them. But, I mean, we all laugh at it. You know, we're Republicans. We can laugh at stuff. We don't hurt anybody.
Well,
you know?
Tammy, thank you very much. Enjoy the night, guys. And, of course, you mentioned truck drivers. The president signing an executive order the other day, now asking truck drivers to know English.
Newsmax White House correspondent Mike Carter in Warren, Michigan last night with President Trump. As Mike mentioned, prior to the rally, President Trump made a stop at Selfridge Air National Guard Base with Michigan's Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
Well, I guess they think we're going to save this place. And you know what? They're right. 100% right. We're going to save it and make it better, actually. So at ease, everybody. At ease. Enjoy yourself. Sit down if you can. If those are chairs, yeah, they are, in a sense. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be back in the great state of Michigan. And as you know, we had big victory in Michigan. And I won't forget it, and I'm not forgetting it. And I'm honored to be here at Selfridge Air National Guard Base with the men and women of the 127th Wing of the Michigan Air National Guard. Thank you very much for being here. This is great. It's a great honor, and a great honor for me. We've had such success in Michigan. I want to thank the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, who's doing a really great job. The Houthis will tell you that. He's doing a very good job. Major General Paul Rogers and Brigadier General Daniel Kramer of the Michigan National Guard. Commander of the 127th Wing, Brigadier General Matthew Brancato, thank you very much. Deputy Commander Colonel David Spihar, wherever you may be, David. Where's David? Huh? Hello? Hello, David. Where the hell are you, David? Hello, David. Thank you very much. He's like the quiet type, right? But a killer, I hear. Command Chief Master Sergeant Bruce Hedrick. Bruce? Hello, Bruce. Thank you very much, Bruce. Thank you, Bruce. Great job. For decades, they've been trying to save this facility. I didn't realize that. I thought it was just recently, because I heard about it recently from some people, including your governor, who has done a very good job. She came to see me. That's the reason she came to see me, by the way, to save Selfridge. And she was very effective, along with some of the other politicians and some of the military people. They love this place. They love what it stands for, all the victories they've had here over the years. So I want to thank Governor Gretchen Whitmer for bringing it also to our attention very strongly. And, you know, I'm not supposed to do that. She's a Democrat. They say, don't do that. Don't have her here. I said, no, she's going to be here. She's done a very good job, frankly, and she was very much involved with the Republicans. They worked together on saving it, and it was not easy. So I want to thank you very much, Gretchen. Good job. Thank you.
You remember a few weeks ago when Whitmer went to the White House to talk to Trump about the Air National Base? He went on to invite Governor Whitmer to speak. She appeared to approach the microphone somewhat reluctantly at yesterday's event.
Well, I hadn't planned to speak, but I'm on behalf of all the military men and women who serve our country and serve so honorably on behalf of the state of Michigan. I am really damn happy we're here to celebrate this recapitalization at Selfridge. It's crucial for the Michigan economy. It's crucial for the men and women here, for our homeland security and our future. So thank you. I'm so grateful that this announcement was made today, and I appreciate all the work. Thank you.
Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, she wasn't quite as complimentary as he was, because the last time she appeared with Trump at the White House, as I mentioned, she was shellacked by her fellow Democrats. And you heard the president say people told him not to say Whitmer is doing a great job. And that is exactly, I probably said this a few weeks ago, that is exactly what is wrong with Washington and politics. Yes, they are on different teams. You have to support your team, but the other person is not automatically the enemy, right? Both teams are supposed to be working for us, for the better of the country. That's what Trump is trying to do. And in this case, that's what Whitmer is trying to do. He said she came to him at the White House, and he obliged. And he's been very cordial and very nice to her. They both have said nasty things about each other in the past, but they are now working together to get something accomplished. A rarity in Washington. Even Sleepy Joe Scarborough on Morning Schmo was somewhat giving Trump credit for it. Or maybe he was just trying to protect Whitmer from other Democrats. If you watched the whole rally on Newsmax last night, you know it was decided that Joe Biden will now officially be called Crooked Joe. The crowd voted for Crooked Joe over Sleepy Joe. Now, Sleepy Joe can go to Joe Scarborough. This, of course, is President Trump's second 100 days in office. More on that from Newsmax chief Washington correspondent James Rosen.
Two inaugurals, two very different presidencies. Almost immediately, the first Trump term bogged down in disputes over inaugural crowd size.
Total audience it was.
Total audience, but not simply in person.
But that's right.
And the uneven rollout of an immigration ban on Muslim-majority countries.
Do you feel like you and your staff there that you're in control of events at the White House?
I think to say that we're in control would be a substantial understatement.
In contrast, the second Trump term has taken off like a rocket, with sweeping cuts to the size of the federal workforce, a series of major investment announcements, and hard right turns in virtually all executive branch policies.
This president did more in the first 100 hours than the previous president did in the first 100 days.
Many analysts see the difference between the two Trump administrations defined chiefly by personnel. Early in his first term, the president fired FBI Director James Comey and installed Christopher Wray, a former DOJ official previously unknown to the president, in his place.
Cash, wherever you may be, good luck.
Now Kash Patel, an unabashed Trump loyalist, runs the FBI.
Is it your view of your authority that you have the power to call up any one of or all of the people seated at this table and issue orders that they're bound to follow?
Oh, yeah, they'll follow the orders. Yes, they will.
Personnel is policy.
Craig Shirley is a presidential historian and author of the introduction to this official collection of Trump speeches.
You need to learn, don't ever listen to the Washington establishment because it's always wrong.
Another key difference is that this time Mr. Trump won the popular vote.
Abraham Lincoln and Ronald Reagan wrote often about how you couldn't get anything done or very little done in Washington without the support of the American people.
Take a look at what happened.
Perhaps the biggest change came when former President Trump was shot in Butler, Pennsylvania last July.
Butler very much changed him.
Selena Zito is a reporter for the Washington Examiner, co-author of 2018's The Great Revolt Inside the Populist Coalition Reshaping American Politics, and author of the eyewitness account Butler, forthcoming in July. Zito was only 4 feet away from the former president when he was shot.
He understood the gift that he was given to survive that. He knows time is short and he only has so much time to get things done. And he was saved for a reason. And that is the engine behind Donald Trump 2.0.
To be sure, Trump 2.0 has had its share of early stumbles, from the Signalgate controversy to the deportation of a Maryland man after what the administration called a clerical error. Still, by all accounts, the 47th president is proceeding with the kind of ambition, speed, and efficiency the 45th president only dreamed of attaining at this stage. At the White House, James Rosen, Newsmax.
Great work from Newsmax chief Washington correspondent James Rosen. And speaking of the Butler assassination attempt, our Greg Kelly continues his relentless pursuit for information and accountability.
We found out something interesting. I heard about a rumor for a long time about, well, what was going on July 13th of 2024. I heard a rumor that, well, it's about CNN. CNN. They don't really like President Trump all that much, do they? And they're all very arrogant, and they look down on him, especially this crew, the political team, and anybody who has their hands on their hips like they're all that. I heard a rumor that this was the first rally, July 13th, 2024, that CNN ever took live. Well, kinda. The CNN covered the Butler rally live from the very start to the gunshots and beyond. They got out right after the gunshots. The rumor isn't entirely correct, but it's not entirely wrong. I don't suspect anything sinister, but for all the dates of all the times they had rallies, let's see here. Thursday, June 6th, they took 17 seconds. Friday, June 28th, they took 3 minutes and 51 minutes of coverage, but it wasn't the beginning and it wasn't the end. Let's see here. July 9th, they did 17 seconds. Butler, they went from the very first minute right up until he was shot. That's 6 minutes. That's longer than any other rally for 2024. And all these others, they did not cover. Again, nothing sinister, just kind of one of those weird things. Here is that moment, by the way.
Out of 69 Senate races, one in a state that voted the other way for president. And
Ron,
their Democrats are defending.
I'm so sorry to do this to you, but we're going to have to interrupt you, and I'm sorry to put you all on standby, but we're going to go to President Trump now, who's speaking at a rally in Pennsylvania. We await his VP pick ahead of the convention. Let's listen in.
Commonwealth with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots, and that's what you are, and we got to bring our country back to health.
Okay, maybe it was just the interest in the possible, announcement of the VP, right? Was that going to happen at that moment? Maybe. When it did actually happen, when the gunshots rang out, they did this.
That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Okay, we are watching live. We do not know what is happening. We see Secret Service agents there with former President Donald Trump. This is at live video from Butler, Pennsylvania, where they are scrambling. We heard sounds, and that is when they told the former president to get down.
Personally, I would have stayed with the scene. You want to find the whole thing. Again, nothing sinister, just kind of weird, right? What are the odds? It's a coincidence. Coincidence happens. The first rally they took live from the very beginning. I guess they were waiting for Vance's announcement, but interesting nevertheless. There's so much about this Butler situation that has not yet come to light. There has not been sufficient coverage of the findings or lack thereof. Now, this is interesting. This is from an official report from Homeland Security. No one was in charge. No one was in charge. Like, basically, everybody who was there kind of thought somebody else was in charge. And there was a lot of this, right? There was a lot of, no, not me, that guy. It wasn't me. It was the second supervisor, the site supervisor, the site agent, the lead, the SI. They have all these titles that they were hiding behind. And it was that guy, not me.
Greg Kelly is the host of Greg Kelly Reports. That's 9 o'clock Eastern on Newsmax. Check it out tonight. Today, President Trump is hosting a cabinet meeting at the White House, participating in a swearing-in ceremony for former banker Warren Stevens, his pick as U.S. ambassador to the UK, and then this afternoon delivering official remarks about the billions of dollars being invested in America. So a lot of news will be made out of those events. So my assignment to the Washington, D.C. area, which I may or may not have more on in the near future, and then to the Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama for Sunday's NASCAR race with my friend Joey Logano. He's not really my friend, but, my guy. And on the way back to Florida, probably from Washington to Alabama as well, and then on my way back to Florida, I passed by several Camping World RV centers, which are sort of famous for their huge American flags, proudly displayed more than 100 feet above the location. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And believe it or not, some people are now all of a sudden fighting Camping World CEO, the great Marcus Lemonis, to take them down. He spoke about this and more with our Tom Basile. And if you don't know Marcus's personal story, I encourage you to keep listening.
It's time now for our Patriot of the Week, where we celebrate those who exemplify the spirit of this great nation, and sometimes in the face of really great challenges. And today we salute Marcus Lemonis. Now, Mr. Lemonis has been flying his enormous American flags outside his Camping World stores nationwide for at least 2 decades. Then suddenly, the lawsuits started rolling in. Now he's facing challenges from municipalities in Tennessee and North Carolina, but he refuses to take them down. For more on this, joining me now, the CEO of Camping World, Marcus Lemonis. Good to see you. I've been so excited to talk to you because I give you so much credit for what you're doing. It is really amazing. I live in Tennessee. I've seen these flags in person. I've seen them for years. They're big. They're beautiful. Why are you getting attacked over this?
I think ultimately you have local ordinances that want to control the marketplace, and you think about what the current administration thinks about eliminating regulations in business. And I think the left gets a little too excited thinking that when we say we want to lessen regulations, we're talking about things that protect customers. What we're really trying to do is just give people the freedom to do what they want to do within the compliance of the law. And this whole flag nonsense, quite frankly, is baffling to me because we use the FAA as our regulator. If the FAA tells us no, or they tell us it needs to be lower or smaller, we comply with that. Outside of that, it's the subjective piece. And, you know, I've been doing this for 20 years, as you mentioned, and I keep saying it to people. It's not coming down, no matter what.
Yeah, it's just amazing. How big are these flags, by the way, Marcus?
So the flagpoles are 130 feet, and they're universally the same across the country. And the flag itself is 40 by 80. It's 3,200 square feet. And yes, it is big. And yes, it does cost over $130,000 to put up.
Wow.
But it really is representative of me, of my love letter, my gift back to the people that have served this country, who have defended this country, to allow an immigrant like me to come here and to have a job and to employ 14,000 people.
Marcus, are you getting any support from the elected officials? This has impacted one of your locations down in Greenville, but the local communities, the local elected officials, how are they coming down on this?
I think people are a little conflicted right now. We know that we're getting support from the administration. I have many friends in the Trump administration who support it. There are state senators and congressmen and U.S. senators that are encouraging us to do this. And my response to everybody is, if this is such a great thing, then let's pass a national bill that allows the flags, as long as they're safe, as long as they comply with the FAA, as long as they're done so in a way that doesn't put people in harm's way. Let's pass a national bill that allows people to display the U.S. flag. Yeah. This isn't an opportunity to exploit it to put up, my favorite sports team.
Yeah, no, it's such a great idea. Now, a lot of folks may not know this, but you were born in Beirut. You legally immigrated to the United States, and you've managed to live the American dream.
Yeah,
Talk to me about what does the flag mean to you after this journey that you've been on personally here in the United States?
I think it's tough for me. I was dropped off on the doorstep of an orphanage when I was a small child. I was adopted by an amazing family in Miami, my mom and dad. That's how I refer to them. I have no brothers and sisters. Now both my parents are gone. And as a little child, my family had an automobile dealership, and we flew a flag. It was the largest flag in Miami. It was not this big. And I used to tell my grandfather, my adopted grandfather, as a small child, I'm going to own a business one day. My business is going to be bigger than yours, and my flag is going to be bigger. And so I've been really doing this because as an immigrant to this country who was given a chance to go through the proper process, and I have pictures in my bow tie where I'm getting my, my naturalization papers and taking the test. It's a proud moment for me, and I want to leave my legacy on a country that gave me so much. And the flag is my way of saying thank you.
Marcus, last question for you. What's your message to your fellow Americans who might be concerned about showing their patriotism because they're afraid, they've been made to sort of feel afraid that they're going to trigger somebody on the left and face some backlash?
I think that as long as you're doing anything that you do with respect, which we do, and you do, and everybody else does, that a demonstration of what I believe in doesn't have to be so, doesn't have to create such conflict. My message to everybody is you should do what you believe in. You should be kind to others. You should run your business. You should employ people and be good to customers and do the things that are necessary to be a good citizen. But you also have to be a good patriot. Yeah. And for me, being a patriot is about standing up for what you believe in. I closed one of the locations in town because it's gotten so noisy. But the flag's not coming down, and I've been told that I'm going to go to jail. My response is, you can take me to jail. The flag's still not coming down.
God bless you.
Marcus Lemonis, CEO of Camping World, the owner or partner of so many other businesses as well, including many family businesses that he saved from going under. That's when I became a big fan of his. Each flag cost $130,000 to put up. What a great story from a guy who started out as an orphaned immigrant in Miami. On Wall Street, stock markets opened slightly lower this morning after closing in the green yesterday. Coca-Cola yesterday and Etsy today both had positive earnings reports. Among dozens of earnings reports that are out, both said they are staying nimble on tariffs. Coca-Cola said it is not going to raise prices due to tariffs. The big news on Wall Street this morning, though, however, is the GDP report showing that the U.S. economy actually shrank for the first time in 3 years. That is going to be big, big news, especially for folks on the other side of the aisle. The experts saying the decline was driven by a surge of imports ahead of Trump's sweeping tariffs. The president this morning saying, be patient. On the crypto market, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are also slightly lower this morning. At the time of this recording, Bitcoin was down about $600, just shy of $95,000. XRP was down to $222. Be sure to keep up with all of the news today on Newsmax N2, that's Newsmax 2, and at Newsmax.com. Also, make sure you have the Newsmax app on your phone so you can stay informed anywhere, anytime. It all starts each and every morning with Wake Up America, followed by National Report, Newsline with Bianca De La Garza, all the way through Rob Schmidt tonight. Finnerty at 8, Greg Kelly reports, Chris Plant and the Right Squad, and so much more. I'm Tony Marino. Thank you again for checking out the Newsmax Daily podcast. If you are new to the Newsmax Daily podcast family, thank you. And thank you again to Kay Hill Smythe for filling in. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday and keep on fighting the good fight.
News breaks every minute, every day. You need the app, the Newsmax app. Find it free on your smartphone store. Then watch us anytime, anywhere.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.